Researchers have found a star that is floating so forlorn through the universe that it shouldn't really exist. NASA is faced with a mystery. How should a single star form in a region that is so threatening to life that it resembles a natural ice desert? Are we dealing with a normal anomaly here? Or is this star the consequence of the actions of, perhaps, outsiders? CX-330 is certainly the loneliest star in our galaxy, about 30,000 light-years from Earth. It floats alone in a vast region where there is not a single other star. The closest star-forming regions are so distant from this desolate spot that researchers are puzzled as to how CX-330 came to be in this far-off area. The major questions that researchers currently need to answer are whether CX-330 was formed in situ or whether it was flung into this lonely region by some yet unexplained means. Some speculations even propose that CX-330 is not a real star at all, but an anomaly in the universe. If this strange hypothesis were to be confirmed, we could be dealing with a phenomenon that defies the laws of our current physics. It's well known that stars usually form in dense clouds of gas and dust. They are generally not born alone. Tremendous gas and dust clouds, like the Pillars of Creation or the Orion Cloud, are true star factories in which hundreds or even thousands of new stars are born. Planets, moons, and other objects, like those in our solar system, are also formed in the dust disks around young glowing fireballs. Observations of these star-forming regions have revealed much about how stars form. However, the existence of CX-330 now turns our cosmic assumptions about star formation on their head. Bizarrely, this bright source is located in an otherwise idle region. It sounds a bit like something out of a science fiction novel. During a routine assessment of an otherwise inactive region in the universe, researchers suddenly noticed an unusually bright source of radiation. This fabulous discovery was made in 2016 with the help of the Chandra X-ray Observatory. This telescope, which is in Earth's orbit, doesn't detect visible or infrared light like Hubble or Webb, but X-rays. With this technology, researchers are uncovering anomalies in the universe that are not apparent in the visible spectrum. At first, it wasn't clear what the new discovery was. The X-ray spectrum didn't immediately reveal whether the object was a star, a planet, or even a black hole. But further examinations with other telescopes confirmed the staggering discovery. The simple fact of finding a single star in such a distant region seemed like a miracle. But what's more, the fact that the star was emitting such large amounts of energy made it even more astonishing. CX-330 is in a rapid stage of development. Researchers reached this conclusion because CX-330 emits an unusually large amount of energy, particularly in X-rays. With this second discovery, it quickly became clear that CX-330 was in an early stage of its development. Researchers initially proposed a wide range of hypotheses. Perhaps the star had relocated to this lonely region, or a high-energy event had launched a star into this area. The discovery of the extreme growth rate of CX-330 quickly discredited these explanations. The super X-ray radiation raised many more questions. How could this star form in such isolation? What conditions allow stars to form outside the usual star-forming regions? Stars like CX-330 can reveal entirely new aspects of star development. For example, this one could demonstrate that stars can also form in isolated void regions. This would imply that the processes that lead to a glowing and massive fireball-like star are also possible far from the typical clouds of gas and dust. The question remains whether CX-330 was formed from other building blocks, and whether previously unknown types of matter can lead to star formation. Imagine a young star that has just formed at the center of a massive hydrogen gas and dust cloud, only to be torn from its environment and flung into another part of the universe. Researchers have now demonstrated that young stars can also move. Older stars that migrate are not unusual in the universe. However, analysts previously thought that young stars couldn't migrate. Therefore, movement was initially ruled out in the case of CX-330. But then, specialists demonstrated that a young star like this one could have relocated to this distant region. It may have originally been born in a normal star-forming area, only to be later catapulted from its original environment by strange cosmic movements or gravitational effects. Scenarios of this type are extraordinary. The forces that can launch a young star out of a star-forming region and into one of the most remote areas of the Milky Way are incredible. Only events such as a cosmic crash or huge interactions with other celestial bodies could release such forces. For example, when two galaxies collide, which is expected to occur with the Milky Way and Andromeda in billions of years, stars could be torn from their original orbits and hurled into isolated regions. The passage of a massive black hole through a star region could also create extreme gravitational slingshot effects that drive young stars like CX-330 to distant areas. Could this star have been born out of nothing? Did you know that stars are just dust and gas that have been compressed to an extreme degree? Another hypothesis surrounding the mysterious existence of CX-330 is that its current location has unusual conditions. A suddenly dense gas cloud could gather into a star, even without the typical vast residue. This is seemingly how the first stars in the universe were formed, well before the first heavenly bodies created cosmic dust through explosions. Stars probably formed only from gas and pressure. The rapid development rate of CX-330 could be a sign that this star operates in a similar way to the first stars in the universe. If so, the discovery would be an even greater find for researchers, as CX-330 would enable them to recreate the development of stars at the dawn of the universe. Other hypotheses suggest that CX-330 could be a remnant from an ancient star-forming region where there is now complete emptiness. There could have once been a rich celestial factory, where billions of years ago, stars were born and died. Eventually, the elements in the region were spent, and CX-330 formed as the last star in this area. It would truly be one of the loneliest stars in the entire universe. Still, researchers hypothesize that the strangely strong energy output and unusually high X-ray radiation don't necessarily indicate development at all. These two effects could also arise from different processes. In this case, the star might not be a young star at all, but rather an interesting anomaly that could provide our researchers with new insights about the universe. Is CX-330 an extraterrestrial power station? It's truly astonishing that an intriguing hypothesis from the 1960s continues to emerge whenever peculiarities in the universe can't be fully explained. CX-330 is a mystery, and so far, it's not clear whether any of the explanations proposed can account for the star's presence. Some scientists have therefore referred to a Dyson sphere to explain CX-330 and its strange radiation. Dyson spheres are massive power plants that aliens could build around stars. The hypothesis comes from Nikolai Kardashev, who, in the 1960s, proposed that there are likely many extremely advanced species in the universe, and most advanced civilizations on his scale derive energy from stars and entire galaxies. In theory, such power plants could obscure entire regions of space. CX-330 could be something like the center of a massive power plant in the universe. The region where the star was found might not be empty at all, but instead altered in such a way that we cannot detect the matter within it. That sounds insane, but it's hypothetically possible. Voids, the lonely regions of the universe, are sometimes considered by scientists to be vast alien power plants. These predominantly empty regions of the universe can't be explained otherwise. In a largely homogeneous universe, these voids shouldn't exist, but they are there. Voids are much larger than the region where CX-330 was found. They form voids that span millions or even billions of light years in diameter. The universe is a strange web of structures, galaxies, universe clusters, and vast fibers of dark matter. This web is somewhat predictable, and scientists can estimate the distribution of matter using measurements and probabilities. The structure shows a regularity that, strictly speaking, could theoretically be traced back to the Big Bang. However, the voids between the magnificent structures of matter present a problem. There are vast, almost empty spaces that defy the previous organization of matter. They shouldn't exist, and they challenge the idea that matter is evenly distributed throughout the universe. The voids even test the concept of the Big Bang. If the old theories of researchers are correct, the material structure of the universe today is almost identical to how it was shortly after the Big Bang. However, the voids don't fit into this picture. There is no clear explanation for them. Legitimate or numerical answers for their reality as tremendous circular and curved void spaces in the universe. They are a question mark in the vast puzzle. Inside these voids, there are, at most, a couple of galaxies, and the density of matter is actually about 90% lower than in the rest of the universe. So, voids are not totally unfilled, and this reality makes them more mysterious than if they were completely empty. While in dense areas of the astronomical web, thousands of galaxies are connected in groups and fibers. In voids, a few galaxies float in a nearly yawning vacancy. Voids give signs to previously unknown gravitational forces of huge designs. Matter could contract in dense areas, while voids are expanded and seem unfilled due to the absence of gravitational binding. The forlorn galaxies inside the voids look like the desolate star CX-330. Within a void, it would also be unlikely to find a star like CX-330, because the conditions for star formation, like gas and dust, are completely missing. Nevertheless, individual galaxies do exist in voids, and they probably formed under similarly mysterious conditions as the solitary star CX-330. These two phenomena raise questions about the nature of matter and stars in such desolate regions of the universe. Some of the galaxies in the voids also have properties that clearly distinguish them from other galaxies. In addition to strangely large galaxies, Researchers have also found what are called ultra-diffuse galaxies in voids. Despite their enormous size, such galaxies contain very little visible matter.